it's been a good time, I think, for British heavyweights, okay? We've got a couple of guys getting a lot of publicity. Derek Del Boy Chisora had a massive fight last week against Robert Helenius in Helenius' hometown of Helsinki in Finland, and many people thought he won. You know, Del Boy went into the trenches, and then a few weeks ago and then a few months ago, as many as 3 million people watched Tyson Fury narrowly beat Derek Chisora to win a British title, and then they maybe saw Tyson Fury leave his brain in the changing room and get dropped and get hurt in a couple of other fights. He's certainly exciting. Well, there is a third heavyweight in this equation, and I tell you what, he's not necessarily being overlooked, but if anybody's neglecting him, it's at their peril. That man is Liverpool's Beijing bronze medalist, David Price, and I'm delighted to say that Pricey joins me on the line now. Good evening, David.
Hello, Bunchy. By the way, I'm the first heavyweight in that equation as far as I'm concerned.
And you're entitled to that opinion because and I mean that you are.
Yeah.
Dave, first of all, the fight with John McDermott was postponed, and now it is taking place sometime in January. Yep.
Yeah, it just got postponed till January, which one thing I didn't want to do was go into a fight less than 100%, Steve, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to let anyone down, and mostly myself. So I had to make the decision, and I decided to reschedule the fight. But luckily enough, it's going to be in 6 weeks' time, so it hasn't set me back as far as the time scale is concerned too much. Because next year is going to be a big year. Well,
it's going to be, in all fairness, what Chisora did last weekend and what Tyson Fury's doing, getting 3 million, 2.5 million viewers. That's good business for you, isn't it? Surely, because there's two other big heavyweights out there making it 3. That's what I meant by 3, not necessarily the third man. There's 3 of you together.
But look, Steve, especially Fury. I believe I'm lucky to have him as a rival at the same time as me, because he creates people talking about him, and it creates interest. And without that, then there's not much money to be made in fights, and it's a massive fight, and naturally massive fight to be made is me and him next year once I beat McDermott. And obviously Chisora performed brilliantly at the weekend, and I thought he battered Lennox from pillar to post, and I expected Chisora to give him a lot of problems, because I fought Lennox twice as an amateur.
That's what I remember, yeah.
Unlucky on both occasions, and by the time the Beijing Olympics come round, I would have took him to school. I know for a fact I would have, but I never got the chance to avenge the defeats, and I knew Chisora would cause problems for him.
Yeah. Now, and of course, I should point out also as an amateur, you did beat Tyson Fury. It's a fight that most people try and overlook, but you did beat him fairly handily, comfortably, Dave.
Yeah, I did, but I don't like to dwell on that, because I know
of course it's different.
Games are completely different. He was younger, he's improved. I was younger, I've improved.
Yeah, not wrong.
So it's tit for tat, and you can't even bring that into the equation now, I don't think.
Now with these two, but I mean there's loads of opponents out there, Dave. But with these two, obviously they're both big domestic fights. Would you prefer to go down that route rather than fight? Because there's a lot of good Americans you could fight, which would move you closer to big things. Or would you actually prefer to try and get either Fury or Chisora in the ring?
To be honest, I think the Fury fight appeals to me more than any other fight, because it's just a naturally massive fight. It's a Northwest derby. He's a Man United supporter. I support Liverpool.
Brilliant.
We've got that bit of rivalry going on from the amateurs. He's had a lot to say about me when I first turned pro, and the one thing he said about me was about my chin.
Yeah.
And now that's out the window for him, because he's been rocked and dropped in his last 3 fights.
Yeah.
The time for that theatre, if that was an amateur fight when he got wobbled, it would have got stopped.
Yeah.
Because that was no worse. My fight against the Italian in the Olympics was no worse. I was in no worse state than he was.
Yeah, of course.
In that fight. So, he hasn't got that to hang on to now, but he is a great talker, and it's going to make for an exciting spectacle if the fight does happen, But,
and that's what it's all about, Dave, isn't it? It's all about trying to sell it.
As far as the American situation is concerned, I've seen Cedric Boswell fight Alexander Povetkin, and no disrespect to him, but I think I'd beat him now.
Yeah.
Cedric Boswell. So it's what a fight with Tyson Fury and a win at catapult me up to the level I want to get to anyway. I think because if they're talking about him fighting Povetkin next year, then I could obviously take his place by beating him.
Well, listen, good luck against Big John McDermott, because people underestimate Big John at their own peril, as you know.
Yeah, I'm not going to underestimate
Good boy.
John McDermott.
Listen, Dave, thanks very much for coming on the show, and I'll speak to you. Have a great Christmas with your family, and I'll speak to you after Christmas.
Thanks, Steve. Speak soon, mate.
Yeah, that's David. No, my pleasure, Dave. That's David Price there. He is that there's 3 big heavyweights we got here in the pro ranks: Tyson Fury, Derek Chisora, and David Price. And I tell you what, in the next 2 years, especially when Anthony Joshua joins them after winning the gold medal next year, we're going to have some fun with our super heavyweights. You've been listening to